So the much anticipated rematch between Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev is scheduled to take place at UFC 294. And as we know, last time these two met, Islam Makhachev did become the new lightweight champion of the world, getting that arm triangle finish. So I'm going to be giving you guys my prediction on this fight and who I think is going to win the contest. So as we know, recently Charles Oliveira got a very impressive victory over Beneil Dariush and he knocked him out within the first round. That was just a testament to how fantastic Charles Oliveira is. But I fear for him within this contest that he's not going to be able to get it done. And I'm going to explain exactly to you why that is. Now, the reason that I say that is because Charles Oliveira has a very bad habit that he picked up from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu due to that being his speciality. And that terrible habit that he has is just not suitable for mixed martial arts, especially in modern mixed martial arts. And that is that he pulls guard quite often and he gets rocked on his feet too often for my liking. Now, usually he gets away with this because his guard is incredibly dangerous and a lot of his opponents tend to shy away from going within that guard to land some punches because he does have some fantastic attacks off his back. But where I think he's going to come unstuck within this contest is similar to last time, how Islam Makhachev is just going to have dominant top control. Being a wrestler, he's much better at this than Charles Oliveira, and I think that's ultimately going to be his downfall because unlike Charles Oliveira's other opponents that might be a little bit too scared to go within his guard to land some ground and pound punches, Islam Makhachev is not going to have that fear whatsoever, and that's exactly what we've seen last time within his contest. Now, I'm not saying that this contest will finish the exact same way. We're never really going to see the exact same fight twice, but when you factor in those mistakes that he makes, you factor in the weak chin that he has. I mean, it's no secret that he doesn't have the best chin in the world and he gets rocked and dropped quite often. It seems like every fight you see Charles Oliveira compete in, he gets rocked at the very least and he gets dropped in several of his contests. The majority of his contests, he does get dropped. So I think that's going to hurt him very badly here, especially when you consider Islam Makhachev's power. As we've seen within his fight against Charles Oliveira, and against Alexander Volkanovski, he does have the ability to rock opponents. He does have the ability to knock people out. So when you factor this all into the equation as well as his fantastic grappling ability, I don't think it's a style of fight that's going to suit Charles Oliveira very much. And it's going to be very difficult for Charles Oliveira to break these habits. If you've been doing something for 5, 10, 15, or even 20 years, it's going to be very difficult to change that within a few months. Even a year, you've got all this muscle memory that's built up over time, all these attacks that are ingrained into your DNA by that point, that it's very hard for you to innovate and change the way that you do things. So I think Charles Oliveira needs to be very careful on the feet. He can't disrespect Islam's ability in the striking department. Otherwise, he just might suffer the same fate as his last contest. Now, of course, I think Charles Oliveira has a chance to win this contest. That's not what I'm saying at all. He shouldn't be a massive underdog. I think he's probably the best competition that Islam Makhachev has within this point in his career. All I'm saying is that styles make fights, and this is going to be an incredible, difficult fight for him. But I mean, what do I know? At the last UFC pay-per-view, I got nearly every pick incorrect. So maybe Charles Oliveira can get it done here. I just don't think it's the very likely outcome at this point. So within this contest, I'm going to pick Islam Makhachev to win by a third round knockout. I just think over time, Charles Oliveira's chin has deteriorated a little bit. And I think he might surprise everyone a little bit here and get the knockout or TKO finish. He won't necessarily knock his lights out, but I think over time, as we know, the chin deteriorates, the chin doesn't recover. So I think in this point in Oliveira's career, we might start to see him get knocked out a little bit more often. But do let me know what you guys think about this contest. I'm for one, I'm incredibly excited about it. And as we know, for this weekend, we've got UFC 291, Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier. And man, this one is going to be one of the pay-per-views of the year. They didn't really need to put the BMF title on the line, in my opinion. This card is just flat out killers from top to bottom, even the preliminary card. So I'm going to find some time to watch the event and give you guys my thoughts on it. But if you do want to check out my breakdown for fights on that card, especially Dustin Poirier versus Justin Gaethje, feel free to check that out in the description below or just click somewhere on this screen. That's all good. And if you guys like this content, make sure to subscribe. It does really help me out. And take care, everyone. Catch you later.